And in fact, to talk about this and the possible implications, we've got Moshe Katri, who's the Managing Director of Equity and Equity Research at IT Services and Payments at Wedbush Securities. Moshe, thanks so much for taking the time. One more step seemingly along the path of protectionism from the US administration. It's yet to be passed, so we're at early stages. A couple of questions arise though. One, if they do put this through, will US companies be able to stomach this? Do they have the capability to do that? And two, do you anticipate that it'll come through in the first place?
Yep. First, good to be here. So a couple of things. This really is another attempt to regulate or pretty much cap outsourcing. We've seen this. We've seen multiple attempts on the regulatory front, probably in the past, 15, 20 years to get it done. Ultimately, reason prevails, right? And reason prevails because if you think about this, you need the scale to be able to disintermediate some of the work that gets done out of India. You need massive scale, not just scale. So that's one thing that you have to remember. And again, in the past, what was it? The visa programs and capping visas and raising prices on visas. And ultimately, it does have to go through the Senate. It has to go through a vote. The president still needs to sign it. So it's a whole process. The issue for this industry is that it seems that it can't really catch a break, right? Because we've had multiple challenges or multiple concerns, anywhere from spending that's been kind of under pressure on discretionary work that's been going on for a couple of years now. You have the impact of GCCs. You have the potential disruptive impact from Gen AI, and this comes up. So it probably adds in general to the negative sentiment impacting the space. But again, given what we've seen in the past, ultimately, from my perspective, we believe that reason will prevail. And whatever has to happen has to be logical for US businesses. And if it's not, it probably won't happen.
Morning, Hiral, on this side. Is there a possibility of a TINA, as a JM Financial is calling it? There is no alternative over here with regards to where US goes, because there is a possibility that services could be spared. And secondly, even if there is a potential increase that happens with regards to where taxes are concerned, IT companies will potentially pass it on to the end clients.
It's possible. But again, we're talking about taxes that the enterprise will actually be paying if they're outsourcing work to India or to other places. So ultimately, it will be passed. But again, I'm going back to this whole issue of scale and whether some of that work or part of that work can actually get done by locals. And I just, logically, it doesn't make any sense. It's going to create a huge bottleneck. And even if you start training personnel in some of those skills, it's going to take you some time to get there. So I don't know how much of this is political and how much of this is real. That's how I kind of look at that. Because in practical terms, this is really impractical.
Okay, so therefore, given what you've said so far in response to both of the questions that we've asked you, how much weight are you giving it right now when you look at the companies that you're studying? Because as you've said, there are a lot of other factors that are at play, which are pushing valuations lower than their traditional multiples.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue is the fact that you've seen growth slowing down meaningfully for the sector. And that's been reflected in hiring that's been under pressure. Margins have actually looked pretty good. And most vendors so far will tell you that their pipelines are pretty strong. The issue is conversion. The issue here is visibility, and you don't have that. Some enterprises will tell you, or some companies will tell you, that the main issue here is this global uncertainty. Obviously, this act doesn't help. Tariff talks don't help. So it's a combination of things that's impacting visibility for the sector, and it's impacting the ability to convert a very strong pipeline. That's how it looks like to us.
Moshe, hi, Tamanna here. Just wondering, what are the chances of this bill actually getting through? Bernie Moreno, the Ohio senator that has pitched this idea, does he have wide support? Because while we talk about the possible impact, I think it's important to step back and look at what is the realm of possibility of this actually being pushed through. Does the Trump administration want to go there?
Well, it's too early to know if he has enough support to pass this regulation, if you will. And then ultimately, as I said, the president still needs to sign it. I would say this administration has been very much pro-business. And this is why I think ultimately they'll have to look at what makes sense for the enterprises here and what doesn't. And if you're going to take away, the work that gets done in India, you will have to figure out how to supplement it. And I just don't really see any possibility to get it done. So I'll probably give this a possibility, I don't know, less than a 50% chance to get done. We'll keep on hearing a lot of noise around outsourcing or anti-outsourcing rhetoric. And as I said, we've seen this in the past. And in my view, if you are pro-business, I can't really see this kind of passing through, frankly. But again, in general, as I said, the industry does have other issues that it has to deal with. And that's one of them, obviously.
No, fair enough. But I think since we're speaking in the context of the Hire Act, it's an important view coming in from Moshe that the chances of this passing are very, very minimal. There will be more noise rather than anything else. While we have you here, any view on the Infosys buyback and seeing it as a sign of strength and confidence from the management?
I think the tier one offshore companies are very well positioned to do a couple of things. One, to continue focusing on the cost takeout bucket, where we continue to see very strong pipeline activity. And, in that respect, you're seeing funding for that big backlog of bookings. That's a positive. Two, very well positioned to actually figure out how to participate in this Gen AI tech-enabled services. And I think they'll figure this out ultimately. So I think that's good. But all in all, obviously, a buyback typically indicates strong visibility and confidence in that visibility. And I'm assuming that's the message that that management wants to relay to the market.
And I guess it bodes well for the remainder of the IT pack as well. Moshe, thanks as always for taking the time and for speaking to us this morning. We appreciate your time.